here are a couple of rapid-fire tips for Marvel rivals. If you're playing as Hulk, your jump has no cooldown, so it's a really good idea for you to focus on the flying characters on the other team and knock them down to make your team's life easier and to help keep the skies clear. Also with Hulk, when you're in Bruce Banner form, you can use your Gamma Grenade on yourself to gain extra ult charge, and that will get you back into Hulk form more quickly. With Luna Snow, I would recommend alternating between her primary fire and her ice arts ability, and that will ensure that you always have good damage being dealt to the other team. With Hela, you can get really easy headshots on your opponents if you utilize her floating passive when you're floating down a ledge, for example. With Namor, if you find yourself in a 1v1 situation, a way to almost cheat out of it is to deploy your 2 squid turrets and then use your Blessings of the Deep ability to defend yourself from incoming damage while your turrets deal the damage to your opponent. With Doctor Strange, you can animation cancel his primary attacks by weaving the shield in between every shot, and this increases his fire rate and keeps the shield up consistently to block any incoming damage while you're still doing damage yourself. Next, Cloak and Dagger have the unique ability to be able to switch between Cloak and Dagger and vice versa on the fly, basically meaning that you've got 2 separate characters. And with that separation also comes different abilities, but the abilities have separate cooldowns. So when you first start playing this character, I would constantly get in the habit of switching between them and learning what the cooldowns feel like, and then that way when you get good at it, you can perfectly optimize it so that you switch characters at the exact time that your cooldowns become available on the other one. With Psylocke, your shurikens are gonna return from the hit player back to where your crosshair is focused, meaning if there's another enemy player in front of the player that you hit with the shurikens, you can aim for that player and your returning shurikens will also do damage to that player as well as the one that you originally hit. For Thor, even though your Storm Surge ability is meant to be used to rush an opponent or just make yourself get to a position much faster, you can also use the ability in an up-close duel for extra damage. And yeah, it might use up one of his hammers, but you'll gain it back as soon as you hit the opponent again, so it is worth doing. For Star-Lord, you can move around unpredictably and prevent stuns from affecting you by correctly utilizing your Rocket Boost and Blaster Barrage. And those are also going to help you do some damage onto the flyers on the rival team as well. But yeah, don't be afraid to use Barrage to get a bit of elevation instead of just being on the ground. Now, we talked about Punisher before, but another Punisher tip is if you place his hook ability right on the end of a surface and then jump just as you're towards the end of a zipline, you'll get a crazy speed boost. But if you're heading downwards when you do this, it's not going to work. So you need to make sure that you're heading either above or level with where your character is standing.